Before we get started, here's a few highlights from today's game.
Hard hit ground ball back in, and it gets by Ford. That'll score one. Ramirez stops at third. And that's going to be... Naylor smokes it into right field. Screaming around third. Rosario's headed for home. He's going to speed.
Setting the 1-2. Did he go? Yes, he did.
Today, you're going to have your bad nights. Just goes to show you how good of a hitter he is. And another one right there. Big 2-out RBI.
Fly ball in right field. It's going to dunk in there for a base hit, and it's booted by Naylor. Ford motors home. He scores. And he chases a pitch over his head again. Swing and a miss. And Jimenez grounded up the middle and threw for a base hit for Odor. 1 run scores. Here comes Torres. He'll score. That one is hit to center field and deep. Going back, Luplo still back, turning, looking. See ya! A home run for Higashioka.
Get your comments ready. Here's Derek with the post-game reaction.
Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
How's it going, everybody? Let me pull the mic a little closer here. Yankees finally pick up another win. Actually, finally, they won. That's 2 out of 3 now. That's not too bad. Hey, maybe they're turning the corner a little bit. Offense looked much, much better tonight. Can't complain about 6 runs. A lot of positive notes here. There's a few negatives. I'm not going to lie. There's a couple of negatives. But a lot of positive notes tonight for the Yankees. I'll go through them, and then I'll get to the chat. So, Domingo Germán called up before the game, making his 3rd start of the season. Giancarlo Stanton not in the lineup, getting a night off. I don't think he's injured or anything like that. Usually when I see that Stanton is not in the lineup, I see Twitter complaining like, why isn't Stanton in the lineup? Why can't he play tonight? But I didn't see a peep out of anyone. None of the usual suspects tonight cared that Stanton was out of the lineup. It was almost like a relief that he was getting a night off to get his head right. So top of the first, Brett Gardner works a walk. There's a wild pitch. He stays put. I really thought he should have taken second base there. It seemed right away like the Yankees were coming out of the gate playing bad fundamental baseball. Judge draws a walk. He's drawn a lot of walks lately. His on-base percentage is creeping back up. And then Gleyber Torres K's on a bad pitch up out of the zone, and I'm thinking, here we go again. That feeling got amplified the next inning, bottom of the first. A lot of soft contact from Domingo Germán. Gardner dropped a little bloop fly ball to left field that he kind of came in on and tried to make a slide and catch, just popped out of his glove. He probably catches that most times that he attempts to do that, but not tonight. Domingo Germán made an error on a ball hit right back to him. And he was looking nowhere near the spring training Domingo Germán that we saw. It was just an ugly inning. The Yankees were just not playing good baseball. I saw a lot of people saying on Twitter that they were just turning the game off. I was going to stick with it because I wanted to see what the Yankees offense, how they would respond. And thankfully they did respond. Top of the second and bottom of the second, Yankees and Indians both go quietly. Top of the third, Higashioka, who had a big night with an opposite field double. And honestly, Higgy is one of my favorite hitters to watch right now. Not only is he hitting .353, but he has a really balanced approach up there. He doesn't try and hit a home run every time. And we saw tonight he's got power. He's just taking a hit the ball where it's pitched. Guys, sorry about that. It dropped for a second. Best win of the year so far, and the internet cuts out. My bad on that. So, anyway, back to it. Where was I? Let me move this back out of the way here. All sorts of problems tonight. We're back. We're back. Sorry about that, everybody. I'll have to trim that out. All right, so I don't know where it left off. So I'm just going to go back to, let's go back to Higashioka, picking up an opposite field double, and then he scores on a base hit from DJ LeMahieu, kind of hooked it into left field. And by the way, a lot of people rejoining right now. Sorry, best win of the night, and my internet craps out. Go figure. That's the problem with live streaming. I really don't like live streaming because of this problem. I'm a perfectionist, And when my internet goes out and it gets disrupted, it throws off my whole rhythm. It screws up the whole thing. But anyway, I'll have to go back and edit this. But anyway, DJ LeMahieu picks up a base hit to make it 3-1. And then Torres picks up a to right field to make it 3-3. And he used right field. That's good. He was in pull mode. There's no way he didn't see that video I put out, that he was falling back over the plate, because he's finally not doing that so much. He had a couple of instances tonight where he was really swinging out of his shoes and things like that, but he did manage to pick up a few hits tonight. So good night for Torres. Bottom of the third, Herman pitched around a triple by Franmil Reyes, who's humongous, just a gigantic person. Top of the fourth, the Yankees go quickly, but I noted that Clint Frazier had some better swings. He picked up a fly out to right field. He's not trying to pull the ball. He's been fouling the ball back. Honestly, I feel like Clint Frazier is very close. He's just missing a little bit. His timing is a tick off, and he's still maybe slightly pulling off the ball a little bit. I might do a breakdown of Clint Frazier's swing, but I think he's almost out of it. If he has one more bad day, I'll do a breakdown of Clint Frazier's swing, because I feel like he's very, very close. If you have DraftKings, if you use DraftKings, draft Clint Frazier tomorrow. If he's in the lineup, he might not be. Herman pitched out of trouble in the fourth. Great play by Torres. It was a backhand in the hole. It was hard hit, and he kind of just picked it and made a nice, easy throw. He didn't try and rush the throw. That's something you see sometimes from Gleyber Torres, is he gets it and he wants to get rid of it, and he just wants to chuck it across the diamond. But tonight he just made the play and flipped it right across there, and the inning was over. Top of the fifth and bottom of the fifth, Yankees and Indians go quietly. Top of the sixth, Gleyber pops up, and I wrote in my notes, this was before he really did the damage that he did later in the game. I said, like a vitamin, one pop-up per day. Hicks picks up an opposite field single. He also drew a walk tonight. I thought that he looked really good. Now, he's not completely out of it, but he had better at-bats. He was taking those sinkers that drop out of the zone that he almost always swings at. So good night for Aaron Hicks, and he also went opposite field, which is a good sign. He just kind of went. He wasn't trying to pull off the ball and hit a home run. He just went opposite way. Somebody says, what happened? I lost internet for a second. That's the downside of streaming. I stream pretty much every night for like 20 minutes, so sometimes it happens. We go to the seventh. Yankees load the bases. Another hit from Gleyber. Best swing of the year. I wrote down it was kind of a line drive up the middle. Odor picked up a 2-run single. Odor, who I was crapping on yesterday because I hate his swing, he really shortened up his swing and went the other way against the shift. And what do you notice tonight? A lot of people using the opposite field. That's something I've been preaching. When you're trying to pull home runs, it's really hard to hit home runs. The best approach you can take as a hitter is to think backside and react inside, right? So think that you're going to hit the ball the opposite field. Wait for it to travel. And if you notice that it's inside, just pull your hands in real quick, react. Try and get the barrel on it. That way you're closed, you're tight, you've got a nice short stroke. Think opposite way, react inside. That's how you do it. So I like that the Yankees are using the opposite field. We saw Clint Frazier do it. We saw Aaron Hicks do it. We saw Gleyber Torres do it. We saw Higashioka do it. So Odor did it. So that's 5 guys at least. It looks like I missed a dono, so we're going to go ahead and do the dono hype, and then I'll go back and look for it in just a second. We're almost done. Top of the eighth. Actually, sorry, bottom of the seventh. Great job by Jonathan Loaisiga to throw a shutdown inning. After you guys give up a couple of runs, you've got to shut down the other team. Or sorry, after you score a couple of runs, you've got to shut down the other team from scoring and getting back in it. Stifle that momentum. And that was a great job by Jonathan Loaisiga. Johnny Lasagna. Top of the eighth, Higgy hits a home run to make it 6-3. Just a bullet to center field. And then the bottom of the eighth, great inning. Bullpen is fantastic. That was Chad Green. And then top of the ninth, Gleyber got his third hit, and it was inside, and he just pulled his hands in, like I said, rips it to left field. And Mike Tauchman picked up an infield hit, by the way, using the opposite field. So is that 6 guys who went the other way with hits tonight? That's what you got to see. You can't try and pull your way out of a slump. So hopefully this turned the corner. Guys start to get off the schneid. That's one thing about professional athletes. If you can show them what's wrong, and they can make the adjustment and fix it, then they can turn the corner. You know, if a high school student is having trouble, you know, with trying to pull the ball too much, it might take a lot of reps for somebody to fix that. But as a major league hitter, you have access to all of this equipment, all these cages, the best video, the best batting practice pitchers, machines that throw curveballs and sliders and 100-mile-an-hour fastballs. So, you know, once you know that what you're doing wrong, you can fix it. So thanks to Luke Hughes for the dono. Hopefully turning a corner. We'll see. Lori C says, Higgy needs to play more, Gary far less. You know, I'm really impressed with what Kyle Higashioka does behind the plate and at the plate. Bottom of the ninth, Aroldis Chapman with a K on the splitter. Just absolutely filthy splitter from him. He also walked a guy and then had back-to-back strikeouts, 100-mile-an-hour fastball and 101-mile-an-hour fastball. Yankees win this one 6-3. Mark Knight says, send Frazier down ASAP. So I was just commenting, you might have joined late. I did have some internet issues. I think Frazier's coming around. I think that Frazier's swing is close. You can tell by some of the foul balls that he's had. He's not swinging through as many pitches. He did take one down the middle that it was 97 at the knees. It's a tough pitch, but it was kind of center cut. So he should have swung way too close to take. But I don't think you need to send him down just so soon. Ernest Gonzalez says Higgy has to play 4 times a week. So he's definitely going to play when Garrett Cole pitches. I think you can get him in there once or twice throughout the rotation, though. I wouldn't mind him catching Herman. He did a really nice job with Herman tonight. They settled down. I thought Herman's changeup was much better tonight than it had been in his first 2 starts. And to me, that's a difference maker. I was just raving about his changeup during spring training, but it kind of disappeared through the first couple of starts. And he wasn't able to throw his breaking ball for a strike, which meant that he had to throw his fastball a lot more. And he was throwing his fastball up in the zone and out over the plate. So he was getting hit in his first couple of outings. But tonight, after that rough first inning, he gathered himself. He made some tough pitches. He worked through it. He gave up some hard hits, but they were right at people. So, you know, some of the soft contact from the first inning kind of balanced itself out with the harder contact from later innings. And the Yankees making the plays. BX Bomber says Higgy is juicing, calling it now. That's just a clown comment, bro. El Fuego says, what is Chapman's best pitch? His fastball, slider, or splitter? Honestly, I think his splitter is his best pitch now. That thing is that's the best splitter I've ever seen. And I've seen a lot of splitters. Roger Clemens had a great splitter. John Smoltz had a great splitter. Masahiro Tanaka, when he first got to America, had a great splitter. But Chapman throws it harder than anybody else. Coincidentally, we got 54 likes. It's Chapman's jersey number. Armando Gomez says, this is Gardner's swan song, so not a concern. Yeah, I think Gardner's probably going to be done. Jesus, super chat. I'm going to go back and find it real quick. I wish people would hold off their super chats until I get done with my reading of the broadcast of the notes. Here we go. Frazier hurts us so much. Thank you, Torres. Odor came through clutch again. Let's go, Yankees. So, look, Frazier has been having a tough time, but don't give up on Clint Frazier just yet. Remember, he was not getting consistent at bats. The Yankees have sat him down and brought him back up. They've been screwing with his head for years. I have a little bit of sympathy and a little bit of empathy for Clint Frazier. I think he's going to put it together. I really do. Anthony Fernandez says Higgy always had pop, even in the minors. That's right. He had 20 home runs in half a season, basically, in his final season in the minors. I think he doesn't get as much credit for being a good hitter just because you don't think of the backup catcher being a good hitter, but he smokes the ball. He throws the barrel of the bat at the ball and just drives it all over the ballpark. Eric Warnake Sr. says, Yankees must beat Boston. That's the most important thing. Honestly, Boston's off to a good start, but I think they're pretenders. I really don't think that they're going to challenge the Yankees for the division if the Yankees can play like they did tonight more often. But Boston has been good so far, so I'll give them credit. But I do agree with you. The Yankees need to beat Boston when they play them. Looks like we got a super chat from Ehan the Plug. When will we see the Martian? I think it's going to be at least a year or two. You might see him in spring training next year. You might see him playing in minor league games here in the next couple of weeks. He suited up the other night for the Dominican Summer League. I think that he could end up in single A by the end of the year, maybe double A if he has a really, really strong spring. I would not anticipate him being in triple A until at least mid or late 2022. If he somehow dominates, he'll be 19 years old. It's not unheard of for a teenager to make the major leagues. I did a video on that. But I think you're probably going to see him in 2023 at 20 years old. Would not surprise me if he makes the center field, like opening day starting position, if his on opening day 2023. Cut the cord with Sanchez and let Higgy take over. More at-bats will show his worth. You know, you might not be wrong. One thing of note is that Higashioka is definitely a better defensive catcher. And all things being equal, if both guys are hitting, and right now Sanchez is not hitting, but if both guys are hitting, you want to go with the better defensive catcher. And to me, that's Higashioka. But Sanchez has more power. But look, we've been saying all season, haven't we been saying the Yankees need to get away from the power or nothing approach? Higashioka is a spark plug. Higashioka, and ironically, he's doing it with power. He has power. A double's power, too. Extra base hits are power. But he's not up there. You don't think of him as a threat. But then he shocks you. And he hits home runs and doubles and all sorts of stuff. Nicholas Velasquez says, what's up with Andujar? Last I heard, he was taking BP. He's finally hitting again. He had carpal tunnel syndrome, which, by the way, sucks. So he's on his way back. He's still not a good defensive player, but if I had to choose, I would rather have Andujar in the lineup somehow than Odor. I think you could put Andujar at third base when you need to give Urshela a day off like today. And you don't lose, you lose a little bit of defense, but he makes up for it by hitting the ball really well. And there are some times when there's not even a ball hit to third base in a game. I remember Drew Henson, who was a Yankees draft pick a while back. He ended up playing football. He was commenting on why he retired, and he said he had played third base 3 days in a row and hadn't gotten a ground ball, and he had gone 0 for 12, and he was just thinking the last 3 games have been super boring, And so that's something with third base is you don't always get a ton of action over there. It seems like Urshela gets a lot of action, but perhaps you could give Urshela a day off on a night where the analytics, and this is a place where the analytics really does come into play. I don't think you should base your entire everything on analytics. But if you need to give a guy a night off, and the statistics show that the pitcher on the mound doesn't give up a lot of balls to a certain position, and you have a weak defender there, or you have a strong defender there, but that needs a night off, go ahead and give him a night off and then put a weak defender there. That's one way you can use analytics. That's how I would do it anyway. Spade says, coming back by the All-Star break, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he'll be back. He'll be back pretty soon. Sevy will be back pretty soon, too. Douglas Rao. Douglas, I got to say, I really enjoy your comments. I try and read pretty much every comment. And believe me, I see a lot of bad takes. A lot of bad takes. Douglas has legit some of the best takes on here. So I forgot what you posted. Cole versus Bieber on Saturday. The good Bieber. Yeah, not Justin Bieber. That should be a good game. I'm taking Garrett Cole in that because the Yankees already beat Bieber last year. And baseball's a funny game. You can't predict it. Maybe the Yankees tonight turned a corner knowing that they have to face Bieber and they have to get out of home run or nothing mode against this guy. So, maybe that changed their approach a little bit. Kyle Childress Nations says, when is Luke Voigt coming back? So Luke Voigt will be back, they said on the broadcast, in a week or two. He's at the alternate site right now. He's going to take some BP. He probably won't need a ton of at-bats. And he won't need a ton of games because, with an alternate site, you can get a guy 10 at-bats in a day, right? You can just let him see pitches. And it's not so much even taking hacks at pitches and taking real at-bats. It's seeing pitches. It's judging the strike zone. It's getting your timing down. So what you do, and this is something that happens commonly in rehab, is you'll send a guy in there to just take pitches. And he'll take like 8 or 10 at-bats where he's just taking pitches and not swinging. And then he'll take an actual at-bat where he swings. And you might do that a couple of times against a few different pitchers that need work. That's a way to get your pitchers work against hitters without having to worry about them, hitting a line drive back at you with the cage up or something like that. So you can work your pitchers, you can work at the alternate site and get everybody basically sim games. And so I think that's what they're going to do with Luke Voit. He'll take a few picks over at first base, and then the way the Yankees offense is struggling, suit him up, put him in there, let him learn on the fly. Love today's game and start high at first base or Gary at first. Holy, I don't get it. I'm not sure. Start Higgy at first base maybe, or Gary at first. Maybe. Is Judge's strike zone recognition good or bad? He had walks, but he struck out 2 times. Hitting is hard. Judge is always going to strike out because he's so big. He's as a hitter in the big leagues, you have to kind of usually focus in on a zone. And I think he's focused in on the areas where he thinks the ball is going to be and do some damage. But when you get 2 strikes and the pitch is not in your zone, you have like a fraction of a second to determine whether to swing or not. And so usually he's swinging, because you don't want to take strike 3. So he did draw a couple of walks. I think his strike zone recognition is fine. I do think he's going out of the zone a little bit too much right now, but I'm not worried at all about Aaron Judge. Just stay healthy. He's going to hit 40 home runs. Akira TV says, want to see what Davey can do sometime. Davey Garcia is going to start Sunday. I'm calling it. The Yankees have not announced a starter for Sunday. Davey Garcia was in the park today and warming up in the outfield. My guess is Davey Garcia is going to get the start on Sunday, and I can't wait for that. Sunday's going to be fun. I've got the Oscars on Sunday. I love the Oscars, although I haven't really seen many movies that came out this year. It's kind of a slow year for movies. I saw Nomadland the other day. That was a pretty good movie. I'm going to watch Minari on Saturday night, and I've watched Promising Young Woman, which I didn't really care for. If Judge can get just 1 hit, maybe he can get his confidence back. Yeah, he needs to get going, but he's got a few hits. His numbers aren't terrible. Yanks should call up Andrew Velasquez. I don't know much about Velasquez. I'm not going to lie. Prince Boss says Monty for Sunday. No, I think Monty's going to be, I think he's pushed off. The Yankees said that they were going to insert a 6th starter. I think they want to give everybody an extra day because it's been cold and they're trying to stretch guys out, keep guys healthy. So I don't think we're going to see Monty on Sunday. I think we're going to see Monty tomorrow. Yeah, Jeff says Monty tomorrow. I'm the president of Gumby Nation. I should know these things. All right, guys. Sorry about the hiccup with the stream earlier. I lost internet and I had to switch to 720p. So I might have to stick to 720p for a while on these post games. It's sometimes I'm just dealing with tough internet. My internet is downstairs in a closet. And I've got a range extender at the top of the stairs, but my cat chews on it because he chews on everything. He thinks he likes straws. He likes to chew on straws, and they look like straws. They're these little wands that stick out, and he chews them all up, and it screws up my internet. It's just what it is. I'm just one guy doing this from my living room, so it's not always going to be perfect. But hey, Yankees win this one. They are slowly turning the corner. That's 2 out of 3. They win tomorrow. That's 3 out of 4. And hey, look. Then you're really turning the corner.
Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
Good night, everybody. This episode is brought to you in part by Vector Travel. Visit bookings.vectorstays.com and enter the code NYY Recaps at checkout to get 10% off your next stay. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It helps other Yankees fans find the channel.